Freezing your bank accounts, freezing your travel, freezing your credit card. This isn't science fiction. This is actually happening. The Federal Reserve is pushing for a digital currency. You watch. And whether people realize it or not, money's already digital. And this isn't about panic. This is about understanding who controls the rules. And that means the rules for you. I'm Chris Naugle, and this is What Now? What Next? Oh man, the financial system is being rewritten right now as we speak. Not someday, I'm talking about right now. Inflation has shaken confidence in the fiat currency. You've all watched this happen. And then you got the central banks. They're expanding their balance sheets dramatically through quantitative easing. You got a ton happening with global trade tensions. The tariffs keep reshaping all the supply chains, and now, well, you got a potential war with Iran. And the alliances like the BRICS are openly discussing alternatives to the dollar in their international trade. Then you got faith. Faith in the financial system is being tested. But while everybody else is arguing about what's broken, very few people are paying attention to what's being built right under our noses. Because the whole financial system isn't just under pressure, it's evolving, it's changing. So today we're going to talk a little bit about this quiet transformation in the financial system, tokenization and stablecoins, and the digital rails that will power the next generation of money. To understand where money might be going, we first need to understand what the institutions are building right now. I've been studying this. This is fascinating, but also a bit scary because it's a huge change from what we're used to. For 100 years, or probably hundreds of years, money has just moved through banks in basically the same exact way. Transactions, well, they take time to settle, and we've gotten used to that. Banks verify the transfers. Cross-border payments only take a few days, but today, the infrastructure of finance is being completely restructured and rebuilt. You see, the central banks and the global financial institutions, they're researching and developing new systems where money and the financial assets exist as digital tokens on programmable networks. Think of it like rails. The goal is to make payments faster, cheaper, and more transparent. We do this today, but it's actually going to another level. You see, some global financial institutions, they've described tokenization as part of the next generation of the monetary system, not just money, the monetary system. So instead of moving value through layers of intermediaries, assets could move instantly across digital financial rails. And the technology that enables that shift is called tokenization. Recently, you may have heard of the Genius Act or the Clarity Act. These are both legal regulations that allow for this to happen. So it's not just coming, it's here right now. Tokenization, just so you understand, is when money stops behaving like paper, like we're used to dishing out dollar bills. It starts behaving like software. You see, tokenization is representing real-world financial assets as digital tokens. You can even make real-world assets like your house digital, but let's not go too far. You see, these assets would include things like bank deposits, government bonds, stocks, commodities, real estate. Even today, right now, digital stocks and tokenized stocks exist. Once these assets exist digitally, they can move across financial networks instantly with no intermediaries. The financial institutions say that tokenization could lead to faster settlement, lower transaction costs, and improved transparency. But regulators also warn it could introduce a whole new level of financial risks if not properly regulated, hence the Genius Act and Clarity Act. Technology alone doesn't transform financial systems, policy does. And that brings us to stable coins. So when you talk about stable coins, that is specifically what the Genius Act and the Clarity Act are providing regulation for. So if you want to know what technologies are becoming part of the financial systems, you got to watch what the regulators are studying. But hold on, let me take a step back. Stablecoins, by nature, what they are is digital tokens designed to maintain a stable value that's backed by real assets. So what do I mean by real assets? Well, usually US dollars, the almighty dollar, and treasury bills. So stablecoins and the market for stablecoins has been growing rapidly. Some stablecoin issuers have become major buyers of short-term US treasury securities. That means that digital financial instruments are already interacting with the traditional financial systems. That's why they're buying all these T-bills. Now, some analysts argue that stablecoins could actually extend to the reach that the US dollar is in the digital markets. In other words, there could be as much digital money out there as there is real money. But here's the thing. Once money becomes programmable, because tokenization effectively makes it programmable, a new question would appear. Who is participating in those networks? Let me pause for just 1 second, because if this conversation does anything, it should make one thing very crystal clear. The financial world is changing quickly, maybe even too quickly. The people who succeed financially aren't the ones who predict the future, okay? The people who are really gonna excel are the ones who build the systems that give them control of this new system. That's why we teach becoming your own bank strategies. They are strategies and systems that help you create your own financial system, that give you control of liquidity, give you control of flexibility of your money. So if you want help solving your money problems, that could be debt, financing, investing, retirement, or just any financial opportunity, schedule a call with one of our money mentors. And you can do that by clicking that QR code there, or right up in the description is a link where you can book a call. Now, let's zoom out even further, because money doesn't exist in isolation. It exists inside a digital network that exists today. And those networks, they're being reshaped by artificial intelligence. AI is literally leading the way with this. You see, artificial intelligence is transforming the internet. Therefore, it's transforming everything. And that may eventually change how value moves online, all value. You see, AI systems can now generate text, images, video. They can even predict, okay? Which creates challenges for digital platforms, because how do you prove that someone is, well, human like me or Jordan? You see, some researchers and organizations are exploring proof of personhood systems designed to verify that we're human and that we're participating as humans in a digital network. God, can't help but to think about the movie Terminator. Gosh. And these systems, they could allow digital ecosystems to reward human contributions through token or digital incentives. Not for the digital folks in the AI, but humans get rewarded. While this is experimental, the models illustrate how future digital networks might distribute value. And what value are we talking about? Well, the value behind the financial system is where I would talk. There's even something more fundamental, and that is simply energy. Energy is what we all survive and live in. Everything around us is energy. We are energy. And at the end of the day, money isn't backed by paper, okay? It's backed by energy and productivity. So when you think about Bitcoin, let's just pick on that. It takes energy to create and mine for Bitcoin. That's what we're talking about with this digital financial system. It's going to rely on electricity. It's going to rely on computing power, global data centers, maybe even data centers up in space, and communication networks. So therefore, as artificial intelligence expands, the demand for these data centers and the electricity that's required is expected to rise significantly. That poses all sorts of problems. There are some projections suggesting that AI and the digital infrastructure needed could dramatically increase global electricity demands, far outweighing or outperforming what we have today. So here's a thought that I don't think many people really look at. Maybe the future of digital infrastructure isn't limited to Earth. You see, there's a lot of researchers, even beyond Elon Musk, that are exploring space-based communication and energy systems. There's also research about them putting it underwater where it's safer. You see, financial systems have always followed infrastructure and energy, so wherever the next generation of infrastructure is built, the financial systems, they're gonna follow. They actually have to. So the question isn't whether the system changes. It's how you position yourself within it? I think that's the real thing we need to be looking at. How do we fit in the new system that's being created? Or you might say the new system that's here. So here's a takeaway. Don't get distracted by buzzwords. Tokenization, it's real. It's happening. It's already being utilized. And stablecoins, well, they're growing. And soon, stablecoins will be everywhere, deposited in the bank close to you. Artificial intelligence is reshaping the entire digital network, and the financial systems, they're evolving, changing, and being recreated. You don't need a prediction to tell you this is happening. What you need is control over your money. And that's why we teach you how to become your own bank and the strategy and process that allows you to do that. It is simple. And if you want help building your financial system, one that will work within this new digital world, then schedule a call with our money mentors. You can do that by clicking the QR code or right in the description. Just click the link and schedule a call. So what do you think the future of money is going to look like? You think it's going to be stable coins, crypto, Bitcoin, tokenized banking? I think it's all of them, or something we haven't even imagined yet. So if you're liking all of this, I've got a little something I gotta ask you for, okay? I gotta ask you to click that little subscribe button and check this out. I've been studying all the Bruce Lee videos from back in the day. So I assume you all wanna see the flying tiger. All right, there's a little bell up top. What I need you to do, wah! Kick that bell. Ouch. Yeah, that's like kicking the tree where you hit your shin. That's gonna sting in the morning. All right, let's get back into it. So with that, I gave you an awful lot to think about, but I also gave you an awful lot of things to start with, just like booking a call with us so we can show you how to be your own bank. Thanks for joining me. This has been an awesome episode of What Now, What's Next. See you on the next one.